Carl and Damon here from Games, Brains and a Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial.com for short. And they made what into a TV series, Final Fantasy Unlimited, episode 24, Chaos, the Earl Unveiled. Penultimate episode. I can't believe we're here. We're actually at the penultimate episode. Exciting stuff. The title annoyed the hell out of me though. I was like, Chaos, the Earl Unveiled. We already know. And I was genuinely worried. Oh no, you're not going to throw in something new, are you now? We're the second last episode, guys.
Yeah.
Right, let's get into this. We begin with the same scene as the previous one ended with. So do you remember, previous episode, we ended with a cliffhanger of Mackenzie attacking Peace and him and Kaze standing off. Following the opening credits, Fabulous suggests there is no end to the journey. Honestly, man, I could have Shut your stupid mouth. What do you mean there's no end to the journey? There's only one more episode after this. That is a freaking ending.
Yeah, indeed.
Afterwards, I was like, you know what? I reckon it's more play on Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Overall. Final Fantasy, I mean, it's called Final Fantasy. Not very final, is it? Maeve orders a full retreat back to the submarine. Lisa wants to see Mackenzie and Kaze face off. Can't blame her. The popcorn will be out for me, and now I'm like, sweet, this is going down.
Yeah.
But the sea of flying water is erupting around them. She's concerned that they're going to fight here and references them doing this 2 years before. At least we do kind of know that did happen.
Yeah.
I and Lou help Lisa up and start to carry her back to Jane's ship. Feeling useless, you reflects on his parents before being snapped back to reality by I. However, Yu is launched into the air by a piece of flying water, but is rescued by Chobi. I am really enjoying this Yu sort of issues he's struggling from. I feel like this, in a longer term story, this angle changes the character completely. He becomes older because of it. It almost makes him grow up too soon, and he becomes like the older brother to I properly, where she remains a little bit more childish, and he becomes an older sort of figure because he was forced to confront some really harsh realities.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we've been criticised in the past about obviously the rushness of towards the end, but they've superbly written this whole emotional part. Is excellent.
I agree. You're really right. They have actually developed this nicely. They are going to rush the finale of it, and I would have liked them to do it in a different way. But considering it's the last episode, when we get to that, I'll forgive it.
Okay.
Kaze and Mackenzie face off with the latter claiming that the former is being used to make Chaos grow stronger. Right. Fine. Again, set that up earlier on. Like Mackenzie is worried about the overreach of Chaos.
Yep.
The mag gun isn't moving, and Moogle tries to fix it, but Kaze still tries his normal gun. Has that ever worked? You bellend! Mackenzie wants to put Kaze back to sleep and attacks. There, oh my god, and there it was. Why on earth did you not set this up? Mackenzie doesn't want to be Kaze's friend. He sees Kaze as a threat. Such a threat that he wants to put him back to sleep so that this ends. You are feeding chaos because you are a destructive force. If I put you back to sleep, you cannot be a destructive force and cannot feed chaos. This ties back to the beginning when he was awakened. Oh my god, this is so simple if you write it better.
Exactly, indeed.
As he hits, Kaze reflects on the same thing happening long ago. The force of Mackenzie's attack creates a huge tidal wave, sending Jane back into the side of his ocean. So I like that's how Jane kind of gets knocked out of this world.
Yeah.
On the ship, I is upset as Chobi came back without you, and Lou points out that Kaze and Moogle are missing too. So lots of people are basically missing.
Yeah.
No one knows what quite to do, though. But before they can make any definitive plans, a mist spreads through the ship, and from it emerges Mackenzie with Kaze in his arms. So he won. As the comedy gets ready to attack, Mackenzie says that their lives are feeding chaos. Mate, we just kept things simple. Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Peace has recovered in his base and decides that he's going to let them wander the puzzle for all of eternity. I like that. Peace is like, you know what? Fuck this. You're just going to stay there.
Yeah.
The old tyrant contracts him and effectively says, look, chill out, Peace. It's all good. Chaos has grown well. Fine. On the ship, Lisa points out that Kazi is alive, but seemingly asleep. And I was a bit like, oh, Mackenzie just what? You're useless, Kaze. The manga doesn't work half the time. You get beaten immediately by Mackenzie. What are you good for?
Moaning.
Mackenzie now attempts to explain chaos, and I groaned. I was like, no! I already get it. Don't mess this up.
Yeah.
Basically, here we go, according to Mackenzie. Chaos is the old tyrant. Okay, we had annoyingly established that. And he feeds on fear, worry, anxiety, and sadness. Again, I kind of understood that was the case.
Yeah.
Everything that our group have been doing, everything they've experienced has fed him. Okay, annoying. Had you explained that at the beginning of this sort of process, it would have been easier for us to follow along. You could have let us know that while keeping the characters in the dark. It wouldn't have changed anything.
Mm.
But I do appreciate that this makes a lot of sense. The problem is making sense at episode 24 of 20 fucking 5.
Yeah.
Even Kaze using the Magun has fed chaos, and this was all part of the Earl's Tyrant's plan. And I was like, you know what? Again, it makes sense because he'd argue that Earl's Tyrant's plan to stop them have been pretty rubbish.
They have, yeah.
Realizing that Mackenzie's own world was consumed, Sid suggested he got close to the old tyrant to find a way to defeat him. And I was like, that's fine, except Mackenzie doesn't confirm or deny this, but insists they can't win and they are best to run away and hide. Why not have Mackenzie go, yes, that is exactly right. Okay, he could say it in a less dumb way. He could be like, yes, and I wanted this to happen and that to happen, but eventually I had to step in because it wasn't happening. But if I have Mackenzie not say anything, I'm like, is that the case though? Or are we still doing shades of grey where we're not too sure about him? Come on, guys, give us something definitive. Lisa believes him to be trustworthy now, agrees, and Mackenzie leaves. What about Mackenzie is trustworthy? Just because he comes along and says, this is what's going on, does not make him trustworthy. He brought you back a basically comatose Kaze. Isn't Kaze supposed to be your friend and companion? Thanks, Lisa.
For all I know, it could be just being another level in the cube.
Exactly that. Or just another way of feeding chaos. Make you panic. We now see that you were saved, but by Crooks, who is carrying him to Guardia. So we really are going off in a different direction here. And we see you standing in front of the old tyrant and the remaining lords, because we cut to that immediately. His parents now arrive with a meal for the Earl, revealing that they've been creating the food that's infused with pain and suffering. So the chaos created gets put in the food that the Earl eats. So when we've been seeing the Earl stuff his face earlier on, that is what we're seeing. Why? Oh, that's so confusing again.
I didn't like that bit because it's like it could have been explained so much better. It didn't. I mean, it didn't. I don't like the fact that it's food. It could have been like him eating souls or something like that, but just why food?
It didn't even need to be an actual physical thing to be an eat. It could just be that something he's almost it's aura that he sucks up. But also like then it's like, well, earlier on you said that the parents were working and experimenting on a mega. Which is it? All right, it can be both, but this suggests that they're fucking cooks. But the Earl isn't hungry and suggests they give it to you. But his parents are outraged. We can't give this food to a stranger. And of course, hurt by this, you remembers a happy birthday with cake involving his parents and breaks down in tears. So, we're still kind of carrying that angle on.
Yeah.
On the ship, I is desperate to get Sid to finish his work and allow them to search for you. Elsewhere, Lisa is looking out on at Lou caring for Kaze in her bed. Basically, the vibe of the ship is downbeat. Basically, everybody feels like they've lost, and the only option they have is to kind of just stop and disappear and hide. And I wasn't like, well, at least now I understand why the Earl feels full. Lou reveals that she heard the voice of Soil when she attacked Giga Phoenix and thinks that Soil is the crystallized lives of those who have been consumed by chaos. Fine, whatever.
Yeah.
She thinks that Kaze is fighting for them and touches his hand. Kaze, in his head, reflects back to the woman Aurora, and we see that their separation had her turn into Soil and give herself to Kaze to use. I am going to fight you. If you were a person, Show, we and you are having fisticuffs because you're annoying the hell out of me now. Kazu wakes up, tries to stand, but falls down, demands to know where Mackenzie is. Peast, in his base, is about to move the puzzle again, but is attacked by Mackenzie. Peast expected this though and is ready, revealing that he's collected all the Omega pieces and sent them to the Earl Tyrant, who we now see has everything in place to revive Omega and use it as a weapon to destroy everything. He even has Clear. Yeah, folks, look, if you're struggling, I don't blame you. This is beyond rushed. It's absurd. We're throwing everything in for no reason because they set it up. Now we have Omega, and Omega's a weapon, and the Earl is going to use that, I guess, to become even more feed even more chaos. But we've already established that he can get full. So what's the purpose of getting more chaos?
Yep.
Oh, obviously we had to bring Clear back. How did Clear get captured and trapped? Who knows? The only thing that makes sense is Mackenzie going to finish Peast off, because I would get that Mackenzie wants to stop Peast before Peast reports to the Earl what he did.
Yeah, I get that, but then obviously Kaze just wakes up and straight away he's like, "Where's Mackenzie?" He just kicked her ass. You want to go fight him again?
Yep, basically yes. Peast is still blabbing on, and Mackenzie has had enough. He finally has a plan to defeat Peast, though, using one of his mist bottles basically to suck Peast inside and trap him in it. He then destroys the bottle and summons his power to destroy the ocean puzzle. This also scatters the Omega pieces, apparently ending the Earl Tyrant's current plan. Oscar suggests that Mackenzie is to blame, something that angers the Earl Tyrant. Holy fuck, guys. That is, I rushed through that, but I rushed through that because that is literally how the show does it.
Yeah.
Peast is wrecked, the puzzle is destroyed, the old tyrant's plans are ended of this version of it, and Mackenzie is revealed, all in the space of a couple of minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I can't enjoy something this rushed.
I mean, the old tyrant's got to be pretty fucking dumb to be fair, to not realize that Mackenzie's like a double agent.
I am shocked that they didn't do a thing where the old tyrant was like, "Yeah, I knew it," but it created chaos.
Yeah.
And chaos fed me, so I wanted it to happen.
Yeah.
On the ship, they notice a massive energy force heading their way. Of course, they presume it's an enemy, and are right as from a portal, Guardium arrives. The defense system fires on them, but they are now protected by Mackenzie. I thought that was destroyed.
Well,
Mackenzie summons an immense amount of power and destroys the defense system, giving the ship a chance to escape. So we just repeat. Did they forget? Did the writers forget? Did somebody else write it and forget that Mackenzie did set up a thing where Mackenzie did the whole Shades of Grey thing and might have purposely whatever.
yeah.
Having had enough, the Earl Tyrant comes down alone and confronts Mackenzie. Those who have not seen him before are shocked to see him, so there is a good scene of them seeing the Earl Tyrant and being like, "It's a kid."
The kid, yeah.
I do that well, like, yeah, imagine that. Look, folks, I'm going to say it. We know it, but I'm going to say it. Imagine what the show could have been had it been given its full run.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even I said every time I saw the old tyrant, I thought it's just a kid. Why did I take the orders for it until I saw the last episode?
Yeah. The aura, he has the aura, he has the threat. Imagine given enough time, and imagine this is the second to last episode of a 50-odd episode run. And the amount of work they could have done to create the story, build it up, give it the layers, it would have been special.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. So we've watched some terrible shows which have had double the amount of episodes compared to this show here, which is half decent and has been cancelled or whatever.
We will get into what we think of the overall show at the end of the last episode, I think, more than here, because I think that's best place for it. So for now, let's just wrap this one up as Mackenzie faces off against the Earl. And then we see the Earl start to transform into the embodiment of chaos, basically a huge winged beast. I'm fine with this. You know why? It is very Final Fantasy.
Yep, indeed.
Everyone can only look on as their life forces are sucked out, with only Kaze being ineffective. Why? I don't know.
Mm.
On Guardian, you can only watch as the old tyrant fires tentacles at the ship. And the episode ends with it looking like Jaina's ship being destroyed. And I was like, that's a cliffhanger.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, this is a difficult one to kind of sum up because it's a necessary episode. It's the penultimate episode. We needed to get here. It is absurd how rushed things are. And I've generally filled with so much regret for the show to have not had the time it needed or deserved to really tell its story. But I am enjoying the fact that we are getting to the end of the show, that we are going to see an ending. I weirdly appreciate, right, that we have an ending regardless, because with it being cut short and cancelled early, or at least this episode run being cancelled early, we could have got no ending at all. We're going to get an ending, and I'm grateful for that.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate we're getting an ending, but I don't know how you felt. But knowing that there was only one episode left, I was sitting there thinking like, there's a lot still that needs to be put into this episode. So in 20 or so minutes, how the hell are they going to do all this information? But they pulled it off despite it being majorly rushed.
Yeah,
Well,
I mean, I agree. I think they do. I do think they pull it off just about. But to get to this, they have to abandon so many deeper plot points. And we already saw that in this episode where Peace is wiped out immediately because I would, and stuff like that. Like, there's no build to that. It's almost just a bit like, because Peace to become, let's be honest, the most powerful of the Lords. But like, you know what I mean? And you're thinking like, well, no, what should have happened here was each Lord should have been taken down one by one, leading to the eventual big final battle. Instead, we're just going to wipe everybody out. It is a little bit conquesty, but except for the bad guys.
Yeah.
We'll get into that in the next episode. For now, this is episode 24, Chaos, the Earl Unveiled. You know what to do. If you've got any thoughts on it, let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you'd like to see more content like this, please consider hitting the subscribe button. It is gratefully appreciated. You can find us over at gbhbl.com, our full website, where reviews, news, and so much more goes up daily. We're also on all social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, at gbhbl. Just search for gbhbl and you will find us out there. We also have merchandise on sale. You can access the shop via the website.